Hello everyone, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for another Kitaholic Kits design team layout. Now for this layout, I was absolutely inspired by my fabulous friend Kelly over at Kelly Made It to create one of these gorgeous layouts that uses the almost like folded over paper technique. It's not folded hard, so it's flat. They kind of make little teardrop shapes, I guess you would call them. Kelly shared this fabulous layout that I just absolutely adored. So I have totally scrap lifted her, and I will pop her link down below. And what can I tell you? So I'm using my exclusive cut file, which is called Right Now, but I cut off the Right Now part of it and I cut it twice and just used a bunch of the florally bits, and 99% of this is going to get covered up. It's just going to pop through underneath the layered paper loops. I also did some mixed media in the background. I accidentally forgot to film that, so apologies that hasn't been included in the video, but basically I used a big thick brush and some watercolor in kind of that bluey purple that you can vaguely see in the background, and then that really bright pink I used acrylic paint and a brayer and just popped that on top, and then I splattered with yellow. Not really sure where my brain was at or what I was doing with this particular page. I was kind of just having a play. It wasn't specifically intended for this layout, but then when I saw Kelly's version of this and knew I wanted to scrap lift it, I thought 99% of that background's going to get covered because it is quite bright, that maybe I would be able to get away, in inverted commas, with using this super bright mixed media background. So then I went to town cutting some strips of paper. They're in varying thicknesses. Some are 1-inch strips, some are 1.5-inch strips, some are teeny tiny. The ones that are kind of that super fat one that's in the top left, and then that really skinny one, it is on one of those Paige Evans bits of paper that is already almost like an entire page full of border strips. And I just cut those border strips the width that she had made them on that particular page, and used those in those ready-made sort of thicknesses, so whatever those thicknesses were. It would have been great to just use that entire page to make this layout, but unfortunately I couldn't because of my issue with having things nice and precise. Some of the strips had a certain pattern that really looked better when they were horizontal. And the way this layout works is it needs to be vertical. And it would have meant that things like the love hearts would have been sideways. And I just couldn't deal with that. I needed them to be the right way around. So I have used a bunch of different strips and colours and patterns and things like that. And I looped them over first and put some double-sided tape on the end of the loop. And I cut them about 3 or 4 inches in length, if that helps you if you're going to make this at home. I did both 3 and 4 because I did want some to be longer and some to be shorter, just so you had room to, I found when looking at Kelly's that it did look so fabulous having them sort of uneven, not in these perfect methodical rows. So that is why I cut some longer and some shorter. And then I joined them all together first, and then I went ahead and put some double-sided tape on the back of the other ones, and voila, we have a finished page. So now I'm going to have a play with my photos and with my actual layout. So I've got 2 photos. These are actually from 2013 on my husband's Bucks Day. He went to the races, and it just so happened that there was another Hen's Day at the races as well, so they all got a big photo together. So he doesn't actually know any of those ladies. He probably doesn't even remember their name now this far down the track, but I just thought I don't really have any photos of his Bucks Day, as would be tradition for me not to know about that, but I do have this one and thought, why not document it? I've got about 47 pages in my scrapbook of my Hen's Day. I could at least throw in one of his Bucks. So that's what this is going to be. I'm not really sure why I went all bright and colourful for a picture of his Bucks, but I guess because he had that silly 70s afro on, and then she had that really bright pink sash. I kind of felt like it worked. Who knows? It does work though. These colors just absolutely pop. So then I'm coming in with the Paige Evans florals, and I'm sort of digging those in between the looped paper, just to sort of tuck those in and under. The title there, Document It, that is a Vicky Bouton title from Storyteller, I do believe. I could be wrong, could be from the one before that. But anyway, I digress. So I'm just layering it up. I was trying to come up with 3 different clusters and realized I didn't really have a place for 3 clusters, so I'm just going to sneak one up here up the top. I do find these Paige Evans florals are quite large, so I'm trying to use up some of these where they are appropriate, because I know that they're going to be something I struggle with later. So I went ahead and glued all that down just using wet glue so that it would have something to adhere to. I worried that double-sided tape, especially in and amongst those loops, there wouldn't really be anything for the double-sided tape to specifically stick to because of all the texture and just the different angles and stuff, but the wet glue was perfect, so that's all glued down. And now I'm just having a look at the Vicky Bouton Color Study sticker sheets and just seeing if any of those stickers are going to tie in with my layout. Obviously the colors are a perfect match, so just pulling out all the bits and bobs that I like to go on here. Mostly just the love hearts really, and then some tiny words. Just trying to find some things that are sort of not too large and also appropriate to the story. I will also add some journaling later on. I've got a big old pile of journaling that needs to be done, so I will get to that later. And then she is almost done. I will go ahead and put some splatters on here as well. And I love this thicker sheet because it's got heaps and heaps and heaps of extra goodies, not just text. And I adore that. I love it when they come with like puffy spots and puffy love hearts. I just think that is the bee's knees. So this thicker sheet gets a big thumbs up from me. I really love that. And I find that Vicky Bouton does do that quite a bit with her thicker sheets, which I just adore. So I finished this layout off with just a few little splatters in black just to really tie all that black in with the beautiful colors, and she is done. So thank you very much, Kelly, for providing that amazing inspiration. I loved playing with these folded over paper technique, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with for your layouts. Thanks everyone.